I'd like to start by thanking our sponsors, Tom's Tent Rental, Moxie's American, Crosse Distilling Company, and GECU, your friendly credit union. But we have a great show for you guys tonight. We got your featured comedian, Hayden Fredrickson. Your headliner is Matt Alano Martin. My name is Andy Kurtzman. I'm going to be your host for tonight.
Woo!
Thank you. So I come from just down in Winona, just down the river. I'm a single guy. I got a dog a couple years ago. Got a little mini golden doodle. Yeah. I named my dog Nesta. So Nesta is Bob Marley's middle name. So that's my nice roundabout way of letting people know that I smoke weed. If you couldn't tell. Nesta is 1/3 golden retriever, 1/3 poodle, and 1/3 Rastafari. So, I was taking Nesta for a walk recently, and he was taking a shit, but he was struggling. And I mean, let's be honest, we've all been there, right? When I was a little kid, my little brother was in the bathroom, and he was moaning and groaning in there. And my mom asked, she's like, "Jack, is everything okay in there?" And he yelled back, "No, I think it's a square one." I give you guys a moment to visualize that. But so Nesta was waging war with this shit. And he was doing that thing where the dogs will do the poop squat, you know, and then they'll walk around that way for a while. Well, I look, and there's a string hanging out of his little butthole. So I did what any good dog owner would do. I grabbed on, I started pulling. And it kept coming. Finally, it got a little tighter, and all of a sudden, it came popping out of there like a cork out of a wine bottle. Yeah, it was equal parts disgusting and satisfying. Nesta was, of course, like relieved, and he just took off running like a bat out of hell. And I'm standing there holding this dangling piece of dog shit covered stuffed animal that I just paid $25 for on Amazon 2 weeks ago. But if I ended that joke by saying it was like I was really tugging on his fart strings, would that be too much? Okay, too much. I bought a house a couple years ago, and I put in dog doors throughout my house, so Nesta can go in and out by himself out to the fenced-in yard I have for him. And it's super convenient, but it does have a downside. I was getting ready for work last summer, and I walk out into the living room, and Nesta's laying there on the rug, and he's got something next to him. First, I thought it was one of his stuffed animal toys, but I stopped and I kind of did a double take, and there's a big half-dead rabbit laying right in the middle of my living room rug. I know I was pissed because I had to kill it and throw it in the trash can. I know I'm going to miss that dog. But I've been doing the dating apps, and naturally I haven't had a lot of luck with online dating, but after I got Nesta, naturally I put him in all of my dating profile pictures, right? And my matches went up 300%. Yeah, from 1 to 3, that's still 300%. I met one girl recently, and things were going well. We were on our second or third date, and we ended up back at my place. Now, I have one of those sleep number beds where you can adjust the setting of your mattress. And so we're laying there, and things are getting kind of hot and heavy. She's kind of hot, kind of heavy. Well, out of the blue, she asks me, "So what's your number?" Now, I know now she was trying to figure out how many people I slept with, you know? But at the time, it was the heat of the moment. I always thought she was talking about my mattress. I said 55, 60, like it nice and firm. But, I met another girl on Hinge, it's a dating app, and her profile said, "in an E&M relationship." So I'm like, I gotta look this up, I don't even know what that means. Well, if you're not familiar, E&M stands for ethical non-monogamous. So non-monogamous, in her case, meaning she has a husband, but she also sleeps with other people. And ethical is a word they put in front to make themselves feel better about it. I I mean, like, I'm not here to judge, to each their own, but it makes me feel weird, like I'm almost like I'm doing something wrong. I guess I was just looking for a more traditional relationship where we can just cheat on our husband behind his back. It would make me feel much better. But we got a lot of couples in the audience tonight. A little late Valentine's Day, yeah. Two of my best friends, Shane and Cassidy, are here tonight. Shane and Cassidy, draw some attention to yourselves, guys. Shane and Cassidy got married a couple of years ago, a few years back, and they asked me if I would get ordained and perform their wedding ceremony. It was right after I told them, hey, I should get ordained and perform your wedding ceremony. I know if by this point in my set you guys are probably thinking, he seems like a man of the cloth. So I didn't know what it all entailed to get ordained, so I went online and I Googled it, and it took me to a website, and it asked me for my information, name, date of birth, address. I entered all it in, and said, are you sure your information is entered correctly? I said, yes. Congratulations, you're an ordained minister. It seems like it should be a little bit harder than that. But I wrote a real nice wedding ceremony for Shane and Cassidy and performed it. And at the end, I said, with the power given to me by the state of Minnesota and www.getordained.org, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Sweet, that's the actual website I use. Sometimes after I get done writing jokes, I'll send them to Shane. And I can always tell how good they are based on Shane's response. If Shane texts me back and it says, haha, well, alright, maybe it wasn't that good, scrap it. If Shane messages me back with ha ha ha, well, alright, maybe it has some potential. But if Shane texts back with like 5 or 6 ha's in a row, then I'll know that Shane is really stoned. My jokes are never that funny. Since I've started doing stand-up, I've really come to realize that comedy is subjective. Like one person will find something really funny, the next person not so much. For instance, I'll write one joke, I'll think it's the funniest joke I have, and I'll perform it, and it'll fall flat. On the other hand, I'll write another joke, and I'll think it's not quite as good, I'll try it anyway, and I'll perform it, and it'll fall flat. So you just never know. The funniest jokes I have are the jokes I have about my jokes not being funny. I'm not sure exactly how to wrap my head around that. But when you make fun of yourself like that, it's called self-deprecation. Not to be confused with self-defecation. That's when you poop yourself. That's definitely a joke you do at the end of your set. Never really. I did a comedy show in Rochester recently at a comedy club up there. And before the show, the host had a camera set up backstage, and he was doing free headshots for all the comics. So I thought, oh, I'll take advantage of that. So it was my turn, and I got up there, and he asked, have you done these before? And I said, oh yeah, I know the drill. So I stood there, and I got my picture taken. I turned to the right, turned back to the left. Those are the ones I've done before. He was really thrown off when I bent over and started coughing. He's like, what is that? And there was a string hanging out of my ass. All right, are you guys ready to keep it going with a great night of comedy? All right, bring me to the stage next, the hilarious Hayden Fredrickson, everybody.